The person you cannot stop thinking about genuinely cares about you. Even if everything between you feels uncertain, complicated, or difficult to understand right now, there is a deeper reason this person continues returning to your thoughts again and again. It is not an accident or a random occurrence. It is not happening simply because you are bored, lonely, or emotionally vulnerable at this moment. Something important is keeping this connection alive, deep within your inner world and everyday emotions. This person appears in your mind for a meaningful reason. Even when you make no effort to think about them, they come into your awareness during quiet moments when the noise of the world fades and your mind finally becomes still. They appear in the small spaces between your usual thoughts, in those moments just before sleep when your defenses are lowered completely. Sometimes they enter your thoughts without warning in the middle of a normal day while you are going about everyday activities. If you cannot stop thinking about someone even when you try, hit like and allow this message to reach more people. You could be focused on work, speaking with someone, laughing with friends, or simply feeling peaceful, and suddenly their face appears in your mind without invitation. Their voice, their smile, or a meaningful memory connected to them rises within you naturally. It happens effortlessly and without force. You may have tried many times to push these thoughts away. You may have told yourself that it is time to move forward and that thinking about them no longer serves a purpose in your life. You may have reminded yourself repeatedly about the confusion, the distance, or the long silence that exists between you. At times, you may have questioned your own feelings deeply. You may have wondered whether you are imagining something that is not truly there, or holding on to hope without a solid reason. You may have asked yourself why they still matter so much when nothing seems certain or settled between you. Yet, no matter how much you try to distract yourself with other things, they continue returning to your thoughts. Even when you tell yourself that you are completely finished with it all, even when you feel strong and independent for a period of time, they remain quietly present within you. This is not a coincidence, and it is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It does not mean you are stuck, desperate, or unable to release the past. It simply means there is a bond that has not yet been fully resolved. It means something emotional still exists between you, whether it has been spoken openly or not. Connections like this are not created through logic alone. They are not controlled entirely by willpower, no matter how strong that willpower may seem. They are formed at a deeper level, where memory, emotion, and meaning come together. When someone continues appearing in your thoughts without effort, it often means there is unfinished emotional energy still existing between both of you. Something was felt deeply, even if it was never fully expressed through words or actions. Something meaningful was shared between you, even if it was never clearly defined or given a label. This person may be thinking about you too, even if they do not reach out or openly express their feelings right now. Thoughts do not always travel through spoken conversations or messages. Feelings do not always reveal themselves through direct action. Sometimes people carry emotions quietly because they are unsure what to do with them. They may feel overwhelmed, fearful, or uncertain about what comes next. Type still if there is someone who continues appearing in your thoughts, no matter what you do. They may not know how to act on what they feel, so they keep it hidden for now. But silence does not mean they are empty of emotion or care toward you. You may sense them during unexpected moments throughout the day or night. You may feel a sudden wave of emotion such as warmth, sadness, or longing, without understanding exactly where it came from. You may feel connected to them, even though physical or emotional distance separates you. This is not simply your imagination creating stories. Strong emotional connections often work beneath the surface in ways that are difficult to understand completely. They do not always follow clear rules or predictable timelines. They exist quietly, while influencing thoughts and feelings in ways that cannot always be explained. You are not weak for feeling this way. You are simply human. Caring deeply does not disappear just because your mind decides it should. The heart does not instantly move on simply because logic says it is time. When something meaningful touches your life, it leaves an imprint within you. That imprint remains until it has been understood, healed, or transformed with time. This connection does not mean you should wait forever or ignore your own growth and needs. It simply means that what you felt was genuine. It means the bond mattered in your life story. Confusion does not erase love. Silence does not remove emotion. Distance does not always mean there is no feeling on the other side. Sometimes distance reflects fear, uncertainty, or an internal struggle taking place within the other person. You may never receive the answers you hope for, or one day those answers may arrive unexpectedly. Whatever happens, your experience remains real. The thoughts you carry are not meaningless. The emotions you feel are not pointless. They belong to a story that touched you deeply and changed something within you. If this person continues living in your thoughts, it is because something between you has not completely closed. That does not mean it must continue forever. It simply means it mattered. And the things that matter most often require time to settle peacefully within the heart. Be gentle with yourself during this season. Do not judge your thoughts harshly or force your feelings to disappear. Understanding often arrives gradually. Sometimes the purpose of a connection is not to last forever, but to transform you, teach you important lessons, and remind you of your ability to feel deeply. Even through confusion and silence, that connection still carries meaning for both people. When someone occupies your thoughts this deeply over a long period, it often means the emotional thread between you remains active. Even if you no longer speak regularly, even if circumstances separated you, and even if the silence has lasted longer than expected, your mind is not simply holding on to the past without reason. Comment connected if you feel a deep bond with someone despite silence and distance. Your heart may be responding to something that feels unfinished. There may be something between you that never reached a clear conclusion. Human beings are often troubled not by what is complete, but by what remains open and unresolved. You may notice that you think about them when something positive happens, and you want to share the moment. When you experience a small success, a funny situation, or something beautiful, they come to mind as the person you wish you could tell immediately. You imagine sharing small details of your day because those details feel meaningful to you. You wonder how they are doing even when your own life is busy and full. Sometimes you feel drawn not only to their physical presence, but also to their energy, their emotional world, and their inner life. This kind of pull often appears when two people are emotionally connected despite distance. What many people fail to realize is that emotional bonds do not instantly disappear when communication ends. Silence does not erase connection. Distance does not cancel emotional attachment. When two people connect deeply, that bond leaves an impression on the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind does not operate through strict logic or time. It responds to meaning, emotion, and unresolved experiences. If you are still thinking about them, it may be because some part of you senses that the story is not completely finished. This is also why the connection can feel complicated. Love that is simple often settles into clarity. Love that feels delayed, distant, or confusing often exists between fear and desire. One or both people may fear vulnerability, change, disappointment, or repeating old pain. Fear does not always destroy love. Sometimes it only delays it. It hides it for a while and creates distance where closeness is desired, but feels risky. You may wonder why they have not acted if they care. You may question why they have remained silent for so long. Love does not always move in straight lines. Many people feel deeply, but struggle to act on what they feel. Some are emotionally guarded because of previous experiences. Some carry wounds from earlier relationships. Some are caught between responsibility and desire. Some feel unworthy of receiving love. Others believe they must fix themselves before allowing closeness into their lives. The mind often returns to what the heart has not fully resolved. That is why they appear in your thoughts when you are calm, quiet, or emotionally open. At night, when distractions fade away, the unconscious mind often speaks more clearly. During the day, when your guard lowers for a moment, the same thing can happen naturally. Type yes if you would like to discover why this person continues living in your thoughts each day. This is not you forcing these thoughts. They arise naturally from deeper emotional places within you. That detail is important to remember. Thoughts that arrive without invitation often come from deeper emotional layers. There is also another reason beneath the surface. When these memories return and you think of them, you are not only remembering who they are, you are also remembering who you were when you felt connected to them. Certain people awaken parts of us that remained asleep with everyone else. They reflect something back to us that feels familiar, meaningful, and alive. Losing access to that reflection can feel like losing a piece of yourself for a time. That is why the longing can feel deeper than simple attraction. Distance between two people who care about one another often exists not because love is absent, but because timing, fear, or inner conflict stands in the way. You may feel that something is preventing both of you from moving closer. That feeling is often worth paying attention to. When emotions remain active without resolution, the psyche keeps the connection alive until understanding or closure is found. You may also experience emotional confusion from time to time. One day you feel detached and strong. The next day a small reminder brings everything back again. Share this video if you believe genuine connections never completely disappear, even when circumstances become unclear. These emotional shifts are normal. They are part of the healing process. They show that your conscious mind is trying to protect you while your emotional self remains connected underneath the surface. These two parts of you do not always work in perfect harmony. Healing does not mean forcing yourself to erase every memory completely. It means understanding why this connection exists and what it may be asking from you at this point in your life. Sometimes the bond remains because there is still an important lesson hidden within it. Sometimes it stays because communication between you is not fully complete. And sometimes it continues because both people are slowly moving toward the same emotional understanding, even if they are not ready at exactly the same moment. Emotional timing is rarely aligned perfectly in life. If you feel that they love you, but continue to remain distant, it is very possible that they are dealing with an inner struggle of their own. They may feel the same attraction and pull toward you that you feel toward them. They may think about you far more often than you realize. They may wonder whether you still care about them as deeply as they care about you. Yet instead of coming closer immediately, they hold back for many different reasons. This hesitation often grows from fear of loss, fear of rejection, or fear of changing their current circumstances too quickly. Love does not always reveal itself through dramatic gestures or grand declarations. Sometimes it hides behind silence and careful decisions. Sometimes it waits behind caution until the timing feels right. Sometimes it stands quietly in the background, hoping for the safest moment to move forward. A lack of action does not always mean a lack of feeling. What matters most right now is not trying to control the final result. What matters is understanding what this connection is teaching you about yourself and your personal growth. Perhaps it is teaching you patience in ways you never expected. Perhaps it is teaching you self-respect and emotional strength. Perhaps it is encouraging you to stop chasing and begin trusting the process more deeply. Or perhaps it is preparing you to receive clarity when the proper time arrives. Whether that clarity comes through reunion or through a peaceful release, you are not foolish for feeling this way. You are not weak for thinking about them so often. You are responding to a connection that reaches beyond simple logic and easy explanations. The mind often tries to explain everything with reasons and facts, but the heart recognizes certain things immediately. When something truly matters, it does not disappear quickly. If they love you and the distance still remains, then time and personal growth may be doing important work behind the scenes for both of you. Comment heart if this message speaks directly to what you are experiencing right now. Connections like this often move slowly because they carry genuine depth and significance. Depth requires readiness, and readiness cannot be forced. No matter how strongly you want answers, allow your thoughts to move through your mind without judging yourself harshly. Do not attach unnecessary meaning to every thought, but do not ignore them completely either. Notice how you feel when they come to mind. Do you feel peace, warmth, sadness, longing, comfort, or hope? Every emotion carries valuable information. Your feelings are communicating something important to you. Remember this truth. What is meant for you does not require endless suffering or constant struggle. It may ask for patience, but it should never require you to abandon yourself or neglect your own needs. Whether this connection grows into something real and lasting or slowly fades over time, it is shaping you in ways you may not fully understand yet. And if one day the distance naturally disappears, it will be because both of you have finally reached a place where fear no longer controls your choices. Until then, trust that what you are experiencing has meaning, even if that meaning is not completely clear today. When you think about someone over and over again, when their presence remains in your thoughts from morning until night, there is often a quiet connection taking place beneath the surface of everyday life. Many times they are thinking about you as well, even if they never say it aloud or fully admit it to themselves. Yes, they love you, even if those words have never been spoken between you. Love does not always appear in ways that are obvious to everyone. It does not always arrive through clear actions, bold choices, or immediate decisions. Sometimes love expresses itself through patience and silence. Sometimes it appears through waiting for a better season. Sometimes it shows itself through restraint because something valuable needs protection. The person you cannot stop thinking about may carry a very deep love for you. That love may be strong, constant, and present inside them every day. Yet love alone does not always mean someone is prepared to step forward immediately. Readiness and love are not always the same thing. A person can love you deeply and still feel unable to move closer because of personal circumstances. They may feel unworthy of you. They may see you as too kind, too genuine, or too complete for where they currently are in life. They may fear hurting you because they understand how meaningful this connection feels. They may believe the timing is wrong. They may feel that life is too complicated at the moment, or that circumstances are not lined up properly yet. They may also be carrying emotional wounds from the past. Old disappointments, betrayals, heartbreaks, or losses may still influence their decisions. They may worry that if they allow themselves to get too close, they could lose you completely. So rather than moving toward you openly, they pause. Instead of reaching out, they hesitate. Instead of expressing everything they feel, they keep those emotions hidden. This is not because they feel too little. It is because they feel too much. When emotions are shallow, people often act without much thought. When feelings are light, people take risks easily. But when love touches something deep within the heart, people become more cautious. Fear begins asking questions and influencing decisions. Drop a heart if you feel they are thinking about you too, but something inside them is keeping them from moving forward. When love feels casual, people move freely. They send messages without overthinking. They speak openly without worrying about consequences. They step forward without considering every possible outcome. But when love feels important enough to change a person's life, everything slows down. They become aware of what is truly at stake. They begin thinking about responsibility, impact, and what might happen if things do not go as planned. They start protecting not only themselves, but also the person they care about. Many people wonder why distance can exist when love is present. The answer is often that the distance is not created by a lack of emotion. It is created by an inner battle. One side of their heart feels your presence strongly. It recognizes your importance and the effect you have on their life. The other side feels fear, pressure, uncertainty, and responsibility pulling them in different directions. These two forces create tension within them. They may repeatedly ask themselves difficult questions. What if I cannot give them what they deserve? What if I disappoint them? What if I ruin something beautiful? What if I am not healed enough yet? What if my past follows me into this relationship? What if getting closer creates more complications? What if I lose control of my emotions? What if I lose them because of my fears? These questions do not come from indifference. They come from caring deeply. Because of that, they choose distance for now. Not distance from you specifically, but distance from emotions that feel overwhelming. They step back not because they do not want you, but because they are surprised by how much they truly do. Sometimes distance becomes the only way they know how to manage feelings that seem too powerful. They may never have learned how to love without fear interfering. They may not fully trust themselves with something that matters so much. They may believe silence is safer than speaking honestly. Distance may feel safer than vulnerability. This kind of love can be confusing for the person waiting on the other side. It can make you question yourself. It can make you wonder whether the connection is real. Yet genuine love does not always appear in perfect ways. Sometimes it appears uncertain, hesitant, and afraid. Sometimes it hides behind practical reasons and logical explanations. Sometimes it chooses patience over immediate action. The person who loves you deeply while remaining distant often feels torn inside every day. They think about you in the morning and again before they fall asleep. Your name enters their thoughts during quiet moments. They replay conversations. They imagine what could happen between you. Then fear pulls them back into caution. This cycle can be exhausting for them, even if you never witness it directly. They may believe they need to heal themselves first. They may think they need to become stronger, more stable, or more complete. They may believe you deserve someone who is fully prepared for a healthy relationship. So they step aside, hoping the distance protects both of you from pain. But love that is held back does not disappear. It remains alive. It continues growing quietly. It waits for better conditions. Even in silence it survives. Even in separation it remains meaningful. Love does not always look like constant communication or active pursuit. Sometimes it looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like patience. Sometimes it looks like someone facing their own fears while carrying you in their heart every single day. If you feel this connection deeply, it is not simply your imagination creating false hope. True emotional bonds often exist through intuition, energy, memory, and feeling in ways that go beyond visible actions. This distance does not necessarily mean love is absent. It may simply mean their courage has not yet matched the depth of what they feel. With time, inner conflicts can soften, fears can loosen their grip, old wounds can heal, and the space between two people can gradually close. Until then, distance may serve as a quiet shield, a temporary pause that allows them to breathe and regain emotional balance when caring so deeply feels overwhelming. For you, however, that distance can feel heavy. You notice emotional changes very easily. You do not experience silence as empty space. You feel it in your heart, your thoughts, and the moments when your mind keeps returning to the same person. You notice when warmth becomes caution. Yet many of the strongest connections pass through long periods of silence, not because they are broken, but because they are still taking shape. Some bonds are too meaningful to disappear completely. They stretch across time and wait patiently for understanding, instead of demanding immediate answers. There is an unspoken connection between you that continues even without constant communication. It remains alive enough that a random song, a familiar place, or a simple mention of their name can instantly touch something deep within you. Like this video, comment the word meaning if this message touched your heart deeply.